Why host an open house? If buyers were serious, wouldn't they just call up their realtor to see the house? Hi, I'm Cynthia Duncan, owner of Yellow Door Homes, powered by RE/MAX Heritage. I'm your local Kansas City Realtor, and I'm going to answer these questions and tell you how to host an awesome open house that works for both realtors and for sell-by owners. So why host an open house? The main reason you want to host an open house is to make sure that your buyer has the opportunity to see this house. It only takes one buyer to buy this house, and it could just well be the person that walks through that door today. As a realtor, it also gives you an opportunity to introduce yourself to new buyers and show them what value you can provide during their home purchase. So if buyers were serious, wouldn't they just call up their realtor to see the house? Yes and no. If the buyer already has a realtor representing them, most will request that their realtor give them a private showing immediately after the house is listed. However, some buyers haven't been made to feel comfortable enough to ask their realtor to show them all the houses they want to see. And some buyers are just getting their feet wet and haven't even made it to the point of enlisting the help of a realtor. So we host an open house to open the doors to give all your potential buyers an opportunity to see the house in person in a relaxed setting. So how do you host an awesome open house? Advertise, advertise, advertise. Advertise as early as possible to get the word out. For instance, if you're hosting an open house on Sunday, try not to advertise any later than Wednesday or Thursday. Being a realtor, I pay for an association with my local real estate board, so I have access to our MLS system. When I input an open house into that system, it syndicates to all the most popular websites where buyers are looking for homes like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, and Redfin. It also syndicates to all the local brokerages websites. I usually wait a couple hours after I enter the open house in the MLS. Then I check all the most popular websites to make sure that the open house posted there. Most buyers will check their favorite site for a list of that day's open houses, so posting online is the most important step you can take. Also, post your open house to all your social media pages and run promotions on them. I normally run a 3-day promotion on all of my open houses. I also personally door knock the 20 houses surrounding the house the day before. I bring a flyer and I invite all the neighbors to the open house. You want to enlist everyone you can to help get the word out about the house. And some of the neighbors may know a friend or a family member that's looking for a house. Believe it or not, some people like to live close by their family. You're also showing the neighbors the high level of service you provide your clients. You never know, they may be also thinking about selling their house sometime soon. Next, I normally put out signs early morning the day of the open house. I work in the Kansas City Metro, which is comprised of a lot of cities, each of them with their own ordinances. Most of them don't allow you to have pointers out until the day of the event. And if you put them out before then, they'll pick up your signs and throw them away if you don't comply with it. So be careful. Whether it's my listing or I'm holding my colleague's listing open, I will Google map the house so that I can find the strategic areas where I should place my pointers. Make sure to place those pointers at all major roads that lead into the subdivision entrances. Then place the pointers at every corner turn. If any of the streets are long, I also put an additional pointer along the street so that buyers don't get lost and know just to keep going straight. I put one final pointer directly in front of the house that shows the day and the time of the open house. I also put up my open house flag. I get so many compliments on this flag because it stands out and it makes both the buyers and the sellers feel happy to see that there's some sort of marker at the actual open house. Have a conversation with your sellers about a few things they can do to help make sure your open house is successful, like making sure the house is super clean and smells great. If they're using air fresheners, be sure to use a very light scent. Too much air freshener or very strong fresheners make buyers think that the sellers are masking something. Ask them to also open up all the blinds and turn on all the lights. Natural light is your best friend when showing a house. I like to arrive about an hour early before the open house starts. That way I have some time to do those things if the seller hasn't already done them. It also gives me time to warm up the oven and bake cookies. Nothing says home like fresh baked cookies. I also usually bring the 10-ounce bottles of water because people are more likely to feel comfortable taking them. I bring a little Bluetooth speaker so I can play some soft music for ambiance. If it's football season, I usually have the Chiefs game on. It's not only an icebreaker, but it also makes people want to hang around a little bit longer because they're not rushing out of the house to get back to listening to the game in the car. And your goal is to get the buyers to feel comfortable talking to you. So you want to get them to hang out as long as possible. Now I'm going to show you some of the things that I bring with me to the open house. I usually bring a sheet about the house. And you can see here, there's a header here with my information. It's like my business card at the top of the page. I also give the buyers one of my business cards when they come through the house. I also have a copy of my marketing plan. And this is for any of the neighbors because I've invited the neighbors to come to the open house. So they may want to know a little bit more about my marketing plan. The next thing I bring is a home buyer's guide. Now, I love to give these out because I love educating folks on the home buying process. And even if those buyers don't choose to work with me, they have information on the whole process of how to purchase a house. Because the more educated the buyer is, the better the transaction is for everyone involved, right? Another thing I bring is my iPad. On this iPad, I use this app called Open Home Pro. You can see here that there's a sign-in link here. All they have to do is click that and it will guide them through the questions that I have set up there, which the only thing I have set up is asking for a name, an email address, and a phone number. They put that information in, it goes directly back to that home screen. So when the second buyer walks in after them, they don't know what information that the first buyers put in. And it makes people feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that their information is not just sitting out for everybody to see. Also, what I love about the app is the buyers love it because it's high tech. Additionally, after the open house, it sends me an email with the list of all the buyers that have come through the house, including all their contact information that they've put in. And it's basically saying, hey, Cynthia, follow up with these folks. So I love it. The last thing I bring is a copy of the seller's disclosure. That way I have all the information about the house readily available to answer any of the buyer's questions. And I bring some magazines from around the city in which I'm in or the community. And that way, people who are new to the area can take one and get to know the area a little bit better. You can find these free at your local library or a visitor center. Once my visitors have arrived, I introduce myself, give them the information sheet about the house, and tell them to feel free to tour the house. I also tell them that I would love to get their feedback after their tour and answer any questions that they have. I don't normally walk buyers around the house because there's nothing more of a turnoff than a pushy salesman following you around. Buyers don't want that kind of pressure and they don't like to feel watched. So you want them to feel as comfortable as possible and be able to visualize themselves in the house. They can't do that with you breathing down their neck. Once they return from the tour, I offer them refreshments, offer to answer any questions that they have, and I get that feedback from them. This feedback is so vitally important because you are listening for any objections that you can overcome. It's helping buyers work through any concerns that they may have. For example, I had a couple come through one of my open houses and they loved the house. However, they couldn't figure out how to get another bedroom in the house that they really, really needed. I talked them through some design options that would turn an office space into a bedroom. They were also working with the realtor, and during that conversation, I asked them their realtor's name. So after the open house, I called their realtor and we talked through some options. Their realtor brought them back to the house for a private showing, and they became our buyers. Follow-up is the key to any successful open house. Without follow-up, you've basically just wasted a whole lot of time. Sometimes you follow up and determine that the house that they visited wasn't the house for them. Then that's your opportunity to help that buyer find the house that they will love. After the open house is over, I carry around these note cards with me, and I usually leave my sellers a handwritten note thanking them for allowing me to hold their house open. Afterwards, I'll go out and pick up all of my pointers and my flag, and while I'm in the car, I'll give my sellers a call so that they know exactly how the open house went and any feedback that I've received. Well, I hope you found this video useful in helping you learn how to host an awesome open house. I would love to hear how your next open house goes and anything that you do differently that makes your open house even more awesome. Thank you so much for watching today, and go out there and be great.